I guess I'll start. My name is Ashley Boone. I work in the Civil Rights Department. And Veronica?
Hi, I'm excuse me. I'm Veronica Mendez Moore. I'm a director of CITL.
Anna?
Hi, my name is Anna Schmitz. I'm the community manager at Fair State Brewing Cooperative.
Brian?
Hi, Brian Elliott. I'm the State Council Director for the Service Employees International Union.
May?
Hi, this is May Brooks. I'm with the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board.
And Chelsea?
Chelsea with the Minneapolis Regional Labor Federation.
Kate?
All right. Hi, this is Kate from Eureka Recycling and Main Street Alliance.
Madeline?
Madeline Lohman, Advocates for Human Rights.
Frank?
I am Frank Reed, the interim director of the Minneapolis Department of Civil Rights. Good afternoon, everybody.
And Wade?
Hey everybody, Wade Luneberg with Unite Here, the hospitality union.
And that is all. Stop busy.
Well, Ashley, I think you get to do that for the rest of the meetings going forward.
Y'all think you do it better.
I still can't figure out how to get this open. I don't know why this is not working on my computer, so I'm really frustrated. I apologize. I'm a little out of sorts. But welcome all. I do just like before we jump into the agenda, I just do want to take a moment for everyone to have like 30 seconds to just reflect on the last 24 hours and everything else that's been happening in our cities. So just maybe 30 to 60 seconds of silence here for a moment would be appropriate for us all to do just a little internal reflection before we hop into the agenda, if you would all take that moment. So we'll start now. All right, thank you all. I just don't want to move into any of these spaces thinking that things are business as usual when they are not. But we do have an agenda. I know some of us have other obligations this evening, so I'm hoping that we can get done early like we have the last couple meetings. So the first thing is an update from Frank. Frank, do you want to take it away, please?
Absolutely happy to do that. I don't have a whole lot. I will note that, as you all know, we are going through the hiring process. And so we've interviewed a number of people, but that is ongoing. Hopefully we'll have a good outcome. The people that we did interview were all really good. So we've got kind of a wrestling match ahead of us. But hopefully we'll have a good outcome really soon for everyone. Other than that, on sort of like a broader scale, looking at the department and everything that we're doing, there has been a lot. And today is just more on top of all of that. I think we're all feeling very heavy right now and trying to manage our way forward, but we'll get there. I wanted to make that clear to everybody. So that's kind of where we are right now. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take them. Thanks.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions for Frank or the Civil Rights Department? Or Labor Standards Division? Okay, so then we will move then into updates. And I'm sorry, I'm still on my phone, but I think I figured out why I couldn't get on computer, so I might have it up here in a minute. So I'm still on my phone, so I can't see if people hop in. So now we're going to do the regular updates. Does any of the committee members have updates generally to share about what's happening in their industries or in their communities?
I mean, this, oh, go ahead, Wade. All right, so this is Brian. There's just a lot going on at the Capitol right now, and I think of note for this group is that emergency leave and recall rights and sick time are all in the House labor bill, and paid family medical leave is also in the jobs bill. They're going to be combined. But of course, none of those things are in the Senate bills. The governor's supplemental budget has startup money for paid family medical leave. It has the enforcement costs for sick time. And we're hoping for a good, I guess, third budget iteration, a second revised budget once we get more guidance about how exactly the American Rescue Plan money can be used. But, you know, Minneapolis is also getting like $280 million that could be, part of which at least, could be used for premium pay for essential workers and emergency leave and things like that as well. And I think that's probably going to be necessary given what we may or may not get at the Capitol.
Yeah, I can offer an update following the passage and signature on right to recall in Minneapolis. We're now on a fast track in St. Paul to pass the ordinance over there. The ordinance will look really pretty much the same as the Minneapolis ordinance, except that it will include a private right of action in St. Paul, and we're looking at a June 1st effective date. And to Brian's point, recall is also going to the labor and workforce omnibus bill. And that's just really terrific news. And so even if we have coverage in the city of St. Paul and Minneapolis, we'll be able to really extend that coverage to a lot more workers around the state. That's my update.
Are there other updates from other committee members?
I mean, I've got the update about the Downtown Workers Council, but which has kind of been touched.
Yeah.
Should I go into that now, or do we have some?
Why don't we just, Wade and Frank, is there anything else on the hospitality worker right to recall ordinance that you want to add? For Minneapolis, not just St. Paul?
In Minneapolis, I got an email from Brian just before he went on vacation saying he'd be back this week, and I know that he's working on an FAQ, and so we'll go through that with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that the ordinance works when it comes to the rules.
Yep, I would reiterate that point. I know that we're working on a draft of FAQs, and like Wade was saying, we're going to go through it and make sure that it's all accurate and ready to go. My recollection is the ordinance goes active May 1st. Am I wrong about that, Wade?
You're correct about that.
All right, good. Nope, so we're ready to go.
Great. Does anyone have questions on the right to recall work? All right. So then, yes, Downtown Workers Council. Veronica, take it away.
Yeah, so we had another meeting last week with the mayor, Councilmember Fletcher and Councilmember Cunningham. We're workers and advocates, folks, many of us around the table were there to talk about what of the different pieces that workers have put forward originally that we really sink our teeth into. There was a smaller meeting with the mayor and a couple of other of us before that, just to make sure that the mayor had all of the information he needed. And it does feel, and I was at that meeting, Brian Elliott from this committee was at that meeting, and then we had one of the workers from SEIU, from the Workers Council, a part of that meeting. And so, yeah, I think what we got in the last conversation with the mayor was the mayor feeling optimistic about and wanting to partner with other city council members, many of whom have been supportive on moving in Minneapolis some version of the state bill that Brian just discussed. As we know that we're probably not going to get everything that we want from it on the state level, and it just seems like such an opportunity to do that on a city level, considering that neither the city nor the employers have to pay the direct amount of money, that there's still money coming from the federal government to be able to move that. Which the mayor said he was excited to learn that, and that seemed like something that might be possible to move through the council. And so we've got some work to do to connect with the council to move that in Minneapolis. The second piece was about masks, about PPE. And, the mayor has said that he is clear that it is the responsibility of the city to make sure that every person that needs a mask has a mask. And so we're talking about a need to follow up on some opportunities, because what had been important to us was saying, what we had brought previously from this group is that is important, that if if an employer is requiring a worker to wear a mask, the employer should be providing masks to that worker to do their job. And that when that doesn't happen, we end up with, workers wearing whatever scarf, handkerchief, bandana kind of thing, instead of wearing high quality PPE that's actually going to keep, this going to protect the rest of the public, and create higher standards for public safety and less, getting more virus out there. So, so we're talking about how can the city, how can the mayor work to ensure that those masks get out to employers and workers, but then also really putting I think we're kind of in the middle of figuring out, the mayor's not comfortable creating a mandate to say employers must do this. And we're still, I think, talking about that, but then also he's thinking if he doesn't do that, then what can he do to really kind of, I don't want to say put the pressure on, I'm trying to say just really put a little bit more of the onus on employers to be the ones providing the masks, and the city can provide masks to employees that way. So anyhow, that's something we're still in conversation about as well. And then the final piece was the mayor is very supportive of a plan to ensure that all workers are getting trained on their COVID safety rights. And that even as, folks are getting vaccinated, we're still seeing obviously tremendous spread, and folks, a lot more people going to the hospital. We just really need to continue to take this seriously. And especially given the fact that workers, this is anecdotal, we don't have hard evidence, but from all of the different worker organizations that we've spoken to, nobody has heard of a single worker who was included in any COVID preparedness plan and creating that plan with their employer as they were supposed to be per the governor's mandate. So because of that, workers not only weren't a part of it, they don't even know what their COVID safety rights are. And often people, may know, might know that they have sick and safe time, but might not be realizing and thinking about how that connects to COVID, and the fact that, I can use that time when when I have to stay home because there was an outbreak in my child's class or something like that. So that the mayor was very supportive of, and having follow-up conversations to figure out how we ensure that workers can get that training on paid time, so that they don't have to, so that like, yeah, so they don't have to like come into work and not get paid to get trained or some such thing, but rather that it actually happens on paid time. So I think it was a positive, we're moving in a positive direction of being able to lift up standards for worker safety and help make sure that that really impacts public health in the city of Minneapolis. So I don't know if folks have anything else, if folks who were there have anything else to add, or anybody have any questions?
Wade?
Well, I just really think that we're pointed in the right direction with the Downtown Workers Council and really the turnaround from just thinking about the council to really getting some folks interested and engaged. It has been really terrific. So.
Yeah, I think there's I was there listening in, and there's a big interest in the part of all of the elected officials that were on the call about being very policy oriented. So I'm really interested in these like specific mechanisms and policies that we can continue to bring forward to them. So thank you, Veronica, for your leadership on this and what you've done. I finally figured it out, but I'm in the dungeon. So the computer's on, but I'm now in a dungeon. So I apologize. It had an update that I wasn't prepared for. So anything else on the Downtown Workers Council? Nobody has other questions or updates? All right, then I will open it up to announcements.
This is Wade again. Could I get a do-over on right to recall?
Yes.
So it took me a while, but I had to go back and look at my calendar, and I realized that we hadn't had this meeting since it passed. And I really would like to, and I've been mixing up my dates and different lanes of this. So it goes without saying that I'd really like to thank Frank and Brian in civil rights for all the work and the effort they put into it, and for I think thinking about it in a really proactive way about how to reach out to employers on the front ends, so it makes enforcement on the back end more productive and more nimble, and to the folks here at MWAC, because without your support, I'm not sure it would have gotten done. And so again, thank you, and the workers thank you.
Frank?
I was going to say, I was struggling with my computer. Thanks to you, Wade. I'm really, all your work and being thoughtful and pushing this work forward. I've been wanting to reach out to you to tell you that, but things got away from me for a little bit. But your work is very much appreciated. Thank you.
So what's the next big topic we're going to take on?
I mean, it could be this piece around, the essential workers pay.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that.
Yeah. So I would just like to thank everybody. It's been a really hard year, and this committee has done, we've showed up every month, and we've had subcommittee meetings almost every other month. So I just want to thank all of you for your time and your commitment. Hopefully next month we can also look at any vacant spots on the committee that need to be filled. I know there's been a few that we've been trying to recruit for, because we want to keep the full committee at its capacity with our best and brightest folks who want to make sure that workplaces in Minneapolis and Beyond are thriving both for employers and employees. So I look forward to doing that. And if anyone has questions or comments, especially to the new people on the committee, it's not common for us to have short meetings. Usually we're like pushing up to 5:30 and nobody wants to stop. But I do want people to feel comfortable to reach out to me directly, especially to the new folks who might not know me or haven't seen me in person and only seen me on video. And I can't even go into the chat right now to type in my contact information. But Ashley, when you send out the next notification, will you make sure to include my cell phone number in that? Because I would like to everyone to be able to access that and get in touch with me as needed.
Yeah, like included in the invite. Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yeah, definitely included in the invite. Okay. All right. Anything else that people want to see on the agenda next month besides vacant positions on the committee? And the normal stuff we usually put on there. Anything special next month? All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We will adjourn. This is the shortest Workplace Advisory Committee meeting ever. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. And Ashley, you are for sure in charge of intros next time.
Oh, sure.
I do have a thing that we should talk about next time. Sorry, I forgot. It'll only take me an hour to get through my list. So
Okay.
no, so I just thinking we should talk about funding. We should start talking about
the budget. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Budget and empty positions.
Mm-hmm.
So great addition. Okay, with that, I will repeat this. Ashley, you get to do the intros next time.
Sure.
And we will be adjourned. So thank you all very much.
Awesome. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Chelsea. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good evening.
Bye.